Welcome to the Association of Resourceful Conservation Collaboration, ARC, where we have made it our top priority to educate the future generations on collaborative learning, sharing knowledge through stories, and connectivity. The aim of our program was to conduct a series of environmental sustainability alternatives that would benefit countries overseas in need of development. In this live conference experience, you were able to identify major environmental issues in these countries and figure out ways to generate possible solutions for a better future. 5 years ago, in 2050, Switzerland faced issues of carbon footprinting due to poor recycling practices and overconsumption. Australia also faced similar overconsumption issues when it came to landfills and poor waste outlets. However, not only was overconsumption a concern, but greenhouse gas emissions affecting tropical regions such as Papua New Guinea and Brazil were also prominent.
Let's see what the outcome would have been if Australia adopted Papua New Guinea's Local Seller Initiative. Australia has implemented their own Local Sellers Initiative based on the model from Papua New Guinea, which helps fund Papua New Guinea enterprise so it can grow. Australia has extended the Local Sellers Initiative to meet the needs of Australia's retail preference, introducing this initiative to online retailers. Online Australian retailers can now sign up to the Local Sellers Initiative to receive their packaging materials via recycled materials and arrange pickups for their own waste to go back into the program. But what would have happened if Australia adopted Brazil's drip irrigation systems? Being a country that has a large farming industry and suffers severe droughts, Australia has implemented their own drip irrigation systems that farmers can participate in. The results have meant that farmers aren't wasting water that is not necessary, saving on costs and resources.
Now let's check in on the nation of Switzerland. If Switzerland had adopted the Papua New Guinea Local Sellers Initiative, here's what would have happened over the next 5 years. Switzerland has a major problem with imports of single-use plastics. One of their major waste producers is packaging imported from abroad. Switzerland has implemented a program where their single-use plastics go towards the Local Sellers Initiative. The government has incentivized domestic businesses to join the program so that they can receive and deposit packaging through the program rather than outsourced from offshore supply chains. But if Switzerland had adopted Brazil's drip irrigation initiative, this would have been the outcome. The average Swiss resident consumes 4,200 litres of water per day, which is more than the global average. While Switzerland is known as the water tower of Europe due to its abundant water resources, 82% of Switzerland's water footprint is attributable to imported goods and services. This means Switzerland's well-being depends on water from other countries, often from regions of the world where water is very scarce. By implementing Brazil's drip irrigation system into their agricultural sector, Switzerland reduced their water footprint to just 65%.
Let's see what has changed for Papua New Guinea in 5 years. Let's assess the outcome of Papua New Guinea if they had adopted Australia's long-term emissions reduction plan. After implementing the long-term emissions reduction plan, the industrial agriculture in Papua New Guinea has overseen some new regulations to cut harmful carbon emissions, helping to reduce carbon footprinting significantly. By utilising the new technology approach Australia has presented, Papua New Guinea has been able to adopt new practices in their agricultural production, exporting agricultural resources, timber and fish products. However, if Papua New Guinea had adopted Switzerland's green jet fuel mandate, here's what that would have entailed. In Papua New Guinea, we have seen the adoption of a similar legislation to the green jet fuel mandate. Papua New Guinea implemented a tax on all domestic airlines who do not participate in the adoption of green fuel. We have since seen a huge spike in airlines adapting over 50% of their planes to hold green gas. Participating airlines have a market advantage as consumer pressure is growing for airlines who have not yet made the switch as preferences grow for the green fuel airlines.
It's time to check in on Brazil post the ARC program. What would Brazil have achieved through the adoption of Australia's long-term emissions reduction plan? Before implementing Australia turning to more digitised strategies and using data transparency, digital talent and partnerships, Brazil has decreased its figure to 1.12 tonnes per capita. This is an impressive reduction in just 5 years, and it can be attributed to the enhancing efficiency in carbon-intensive processes, as well as enhancing energy efficiency in buildings and deploying and managing renewable energy using artificial intelligence. Now, let's observe Brazil if they had adopted Switzerland's green jet fuel mandate. With Brazil's goal to decrease their emissions by a further 50% in 2060, Switzerland's guidance on green jet fuel legislation and technologies is pivotal to reaching this goal. Brazil has implemented systems in coordination with Switzerland for the most sustainable production and supply of green fuel. Brazil domestic and international airlines will be 100% reliant on green fuel by 2055. We thank you for your participation in this year's ARC conference and look forward to the implementation of more sustainable initiatives worldwide.